A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the escalating war within the Quartermain family. For weeks, the superficial narrative has been entirely focused on Chase's career trajectory. We have all been watching the drama unfold, wondering if Chase is going to lose his badge or if he is going to accept that highly controversial chief of staff position that Willow Kane so conveniently dangled in front of him. But guys, if you think this storyline is just about a cop making a bad call or a career change, you are looking at the wrong puzzle pieces. Something isn't adding up anymore. The real story, the explosive truth hiding just beneath the surface, is the absolute detonation of a family dynasty following the wrongful arrest of Tracy Quartermain. We all saw the deeply uncomfortable, highly controversial moment when Harrison Chase, a seasoned detective who should absolutely know better, pulled out his handcuffs and arrested the matriarch of the Quartermain family. He did it in his own home, essentially, and he did it based on nothing but the manipulated tears and dramatic theatrics of his ex-wife, Willow Kane. Let us set the stage for the absolute madness that just unfolded. Brooklyn Quartermain had to stand there and watch with her own two eyes as the man she loves, the man she married, chose to believe the woman who has been actively trying to destroy her family. Brooklyn watched the cold steel of those handcuffs click around her grandmother's wrists. For Brooklyn, this was not a professional misstep. This was not a minor lapse in judgment on Chase's part. This was the ultimate unforgivable betrayal. The clue that breaks this entire case wide open is the absolutely unhinged, visceral confrontation that just went down at the Quartermain boathouse. This is where the narrative shifts from a legal drama to a psychological thriller. Brooklyn's rage reached an absolute boiling point. She didn't just file a complaint. She didn't just give Chase the silent treatment. She tracked down Willow and Chase at the boathouse, and she unleashed a level of fury that we have rarely seen from her. Picture the scene. The tension at the boathouse is thick enough to cut with a knife. Brooklyn corners them, and the verbal venom she spits at Willow is laced with years of built-up resentment. She accuses Willow of deliberately orchestrating the entire scenario to frame Tracy, and she isn't wrong. We know for a fact that Willow faked the attack. She screamed that Tracy was hurting her and literally threw herself into a shallow, 60-centimeter fountain just so Chase would play the knight in shining armor. But Brooklyn's confrontation doesn't stay verbal. She completely snaps. The argument escalates into a full-blown, chaotic physical brawl. Brooklyn lunges at Willow, determined to make her pay for humiliating Tracy and manipulating Chase. It is a messy, vicious fight. Chase, caught entirely off guard by his wife's explosive violence, tries to intervene. He tries to pull Brooklyn off Willow, but in doing so, he becomes the secondary target of her blinding rage. It may not be a coincidence that this fight happened exactly when and where it did. When the flashing red and blue lights of the PCPD arrive to break up the chaos, the scene is a total disaster. The police have to physically separate them and haul everyone down to the station to take their statements. Now, any normal person would assume that Brooklyn is about to be booked for assault. She was the aggressor. She threw the first punch, but that is exactly where the story takes a massive, unexpected left turn. At the police station, the situation becomes infinitely more complicated. ADA Justine Turner steps into the interrogation room, and the entire narrative flips upside down. We all know that Turner has a massive, deep-seated bias against Chase. She has been waiting for him to slip up. She views his arrest of Tracy as the ultimate proof of his incompetence and his compromised judgment. Instead of throwing the book at Brooklyn for starting a physical altercation, ADA Turner does the unthinkable. She actually sides with Brooklyn. Turner doesn't berate the Quartermain heiress. Instead, she turns all of her prosecutorial venom entirely onto Harrison Chase and Willow Kane. Turner begins intensely interrogating them about the events leading up to the boathouse fight, treating them like the suspects rather than the victims of an assault. If you ask me, this is the exact moment the trap was sprung. Turner aggressively argues that Brooklyn was acting under extreme emotional distress, driven by the righteous belief that her grandmother was framed and subjected to profound injustice. Turner paints Brooklyn as a desperate granddaughter defending her family against a corrupt cop and a manipulative liar. Let's connect the dots here, guys. Why is Turner, a strict and often ruthless prosecutor, suddenly showing profound empathy for a woman who just committed assault? It is because Turner recognizes the perfect weapon when she sees one. Brooklyn's rage is the exact tool Turner needs to permanently dismantle Chase's career. By validating Brooklyn's actions, Turner isolates Chase, making him look biased, compromised, and utterly unfit for the badge he wears. This puts Chase and Willow at a massive disadvantage. They are suddenly on the defensive, forced to justify their actions to an ADA who has already decided they are guilty. Meanwhile, Brooklyn is receiving an unexpected wave of sympathy from the authorities. The tables haven't just turned, they have been completely shattered. But the bigger question is, what is Brooklyn's true motive? There may be more to the story than just a granddaughter defending her grandmother. If we dig into the hidden files, we know that Brooklyn has been harboring a massive, dark secret of her own. She has been actively plotting to completely destroy Willow by framing her for the hit-and-run accident that recently injured Jordan Ashford. That's where things become interesting. Brooklyn has planted fake evidence to make it look like Willow was the driver who fled the scene of Jordan's accident. This is a felony. This is serious prison time. If Brooklyn successfully pulls this off, Willow's life is over. But Brooklyn knows that her husband is a relentless investigator. If Chase starts digging into the hit and run, he might follow the digital and physical paper trail right back to his own wife. This could explain a lot about Brooklyn's explosive behavior at the boathouse. What if the fight wasn't just about Tracy? What if Brooklyn deliberately provoked the physical altercation to solidify ADA Turner's bias against Chase? Think about the sheer manipulative genius of it. Brooklyn knows her marriage is already crumbling. By causing this massive public scene, she ensures that Chase and Turner are at each other's throats. Here is the big reveal theory, the absolute core of this entire disaster. Brooklyn is actively using the boathouse brawl and the subsequent police station fallout to preemptively discredit Harrison Chase. She knows that when the fake hit-and-run evidence against Willow finally surfaces, Chase is going to instinctively rush to Willow's defense. He is going to claim Willow is being framed. But if Chase tries to defend Willow after this boathouse incident, Ada Turner will immediately shut him down. Turner will point to the boathouse fight and the wrongful arrest of Tracy as absolute proof that Chase is hopelessly biased and obsessed with protecting his ex-wife. Brooklyn is building an impenetrable wall of reasonable doubt. She is ensuring that no one in the PCPD will ever listen to Chase when he tries to prove Willow's innocence regarding the hit and run. This is a masterclass in psychological warfare. Brooklyn is sacrificing her own marriage to keep herself out of prison. She watched Chase cuff Tracy, and in that exact second, the love died. She realized that Chase will always, on some fundamental level, choose to believe Willow's victim routine. And once that trust was broken, Brooklyn decided to burn the entire relationship to the ground to protect her own secrets. Let's look at the other players in this massive chess game. Michael Corinthos has already warned Willow about the severe dangers of going toe-to-toe with Tracy Quartermaine. Michael knows that Tracy is a ruthless, unstoppable force. Interestingly, Tracy and Michael are starting to realize they have a lot in common. They both see through Willow's innocent facade. They both understand the dangerous, manipulative game she is playing. If this theory holds true, the aftermath is going to be absolutely devastating. Who loses everything in this scenario? Harrison Chase. He is standing in the middle of a war zone, completely blind to the fact that he is being played by both his current wife and his ex-wife. He is going to lose his badge because ADA Turner is going to ensure he is suspended or fired for his bias. He is going to lose his reputation. And most tragically, he is going to lose his marriage. The beloved Chalin pairing, a couple that fans have rooted for through thick and thin, is facing a fatal, unrecoverable blow. This isn't just a bump in the road. This isn't a misunderstanding that can be fixed with a romantic apology. This is a fundamental destruction of trust. Brooklyn can no longer look at Chase and see a partner. She sees a liability. She sees a man who will blindly follow Willow Kane into the dark, even if it means destroying the Quartermain family in the process. The physical fight at the boathouse was just the physical manifestation of a marriage that has already died in Brooklyn's heart. As the storm at the PCPD begins to settle, Brooklyn is going to come to a cold, hard realization. The marriage is beyond saving. The damage is done. The image of Chase arresting Tracy will be forever burned into her memory. She is going to realize that continuing to be married to Chase is not only emotionally toxic, but it is also a massive legal risk to her hit and run framing plot. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge. We are witnessing the prologue to a bitter, toxic, scorched earth divorce that is going to divide the entire town of Port Charles straight down the middle. Friends will be forced to choose sides. The Quartermains will close ranks around Brooklyn, while Chase will find himself increasingly isolated with only Willow Kane to rely on. And let's not forget the ultimate irony here. Chase is defending Willow from Tracy, completely unaware that Willow actually did fake the fountain attack, and completely unaware that his own wife is trying to frame Willow for a felony hit and run. Chase is the ultimate pawn on a board controlled by ruthless women. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes. The fake evidence regarding Jordan Ashford's accident is sitting out there, waiting to be discovered. ADA Turner is sharpening her knives, preparing to end Chase's career. And Brooklyn Quartermain is standing in the ashes of her marriage, ready to do whatever it takes to survive. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next. When the final pieces of this puzzle snap into place, the explosion is going to leave casualties everywhere. Keep your eyes glued to the screen, guys, because this family war is just getting started and the fallout is going to be legendary. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you think Brooklyn is a criminal mastermind or a justified victim. And I will see you in the next video.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.